I'm Coach Todd, head coach at NoLimitsTriathlon.com. The other day I was riding my bike. You can see that it's set up on a trainer here, and I was riding along and it started to make some weird sounds and it just didn't quite feel right. And so I got off the bike and I checked out what was going on, and lo and behold, I had a flat tire. So I had a flat tire while riding my bike on a trainer, and it does happen. And I thought, well, that's crazy, but you know what I did? Is I took the opportunity to make a video to show you guys how to change a tire. So if you don't know how to change a flat tire, check out the following video and it's going to teach you how to do it. And it doesn't matter whether you're indoors or you're outside, the steps are always the same when you're changing a tire tube. So check it out. I hope you enjoy it, and let me know by leaving some comments below or subscribing to my channel. Thanks and happy training.
So we're going to show you how to remove a tire tube. So you need to go to your repair kit, take out your tire levers, get your wheel ready to be changed. You're going to unscrew the locking ring by turning it counterclockwise. I like to keep those on my wheel so it makes it easier to pump up. Then you're going to take your tire lever and you're going to put it underneath the bead of the tire. Hook it under, and then you take another one, put it about 2 inches away and hook it under the rim as well. And then what you're going to do is press them both down at the same time, and then take one of the levers and then keep pulling it all the way around the tire until the tire comes off. So you're just trying to pry off the tire from one side, and once you have that off, then you're going to pull the tire tube out. Now my stem is quite long because I have these deep wheels, so I got to pull it up really high, but don't worry, these tubes can stretch. So now what you do when you put the tire down, you keep it in the same orientation as the tube, because you want to figure out, why do we have a flat tire? What caused a flat in the first place? So now I'm going to do, keeping everything in the right orientation, add some air. I'm going to listen and look for a hole. In this case, it was pretty obvious. I could hear the hole, and then I could see it. If you recall, I was riding my trainer, so I knew I didn't ride over anything. So I was curious why I had a flat tire. So when I look at this, it's kind of on a seam. So I think the tire tube is just old, and it just gave way. So it's that's what caused the hole, is the old tire tube. So I'm going to line that hole up with the tire. I'm going to check it out and see if there's anything in there. Just make sure that there's nothing sticking in there on the tire, and nothing on the rim that could be causing a hole, and nothing in the rim tape. And I would do this when I'm outside as well, just to make sure, because if you get a flat tire and you don't do this check, you put a tire tube back in, and if you have something stuck in the tire or something in the rim, you're going to get a flat over and over and over, and it's really frustrating. So really take this step. It only takes a few seconds just to make sure there's nothing in the tire or nothing on the rim that could be causing a flat tube. So after you checked and you're pretty satisfied that there's nothing in the tire, nothing in the tube, time to install the new tire tube. So go back to your repair kit, pull out your tire tube, make sure you have a valve stem long enough for your rims. Mine are a deep dish, so I need a long stem. You're going to remove the valve cap, then you're going to remove the locking ring as well. You can open up the valve. A lot of times these tubes are really flat because they've been folded up from the store, and so you want to give it a little bit of shape. So you can do it a couple ways. You can add it with a pump. If you have a pump beside you can use your CO2, or you can just use your mouth and blow into it and give some shape to the tube. So now that you have a bit of shape to the tube, let's put the stem into the hole of the rim. And now what you're going to do is you're going to work the tire tube into the tire all the way around. You want to try and keep that tire in as best as possible. You're going to find that it wants to come out. You see it comes out up at the top there. But just do your best to keep it up there. And it really is no big deal. if it does pop out. But it just makes the next process that much easier if you can keep the tube in the tire. So now I'm going to push that valve stem up. By doing that, it pushes the tube into the tire and it keeps it away from the rim so that I won't have the chance of a pinch flat is smaller if you do that step. And so now I'm going to just go around the rim. I'm going to try and push the bead of the tire onto the rim. I like to go on one side, do a little bit, and then go back to the other side. And hopefully you're going to end off at the opposite end of the valve stem. And you're going to find that you have to keep pushing the tire tube back into the tire. It's very important to push that tire back up, because if you roll that tire on with the tube sticking out, you will get a pinch flat when you pump up the tire. And ideally, if you can do this with just using your hands, not using your tire levers, that's going to really increase the chance of not getting a pinch flat. So try to do that as best you can. Now I try to roll it on, but I realize it's not going to happen. So when you can't get that last little section on, then you take the tire lever and you're going to use it backwards. And you're going to just put it under the rim and just kind of gently roll that tire onto the rim. I only had to do it once, and then I can easily pop the rest of the tire back on. Now go back to the valve stem. I'm going to push it back up. So I want that tube away from the rim and into the tire. And again, that's going to minimize the chance of getting a pinch flat. I'm going to put that locking nut back on. I'm going to check both sides for exposed tubes. So this is very, very important step. So what I'm doing here is I'm going around the whole tire, starting at the valve stem. I'm making sure that there's no tube exposed on either side, because if there's any tube exposed, when you pump up your tire, you will get a pinch flat, and we do not want that. It only takes 15 seconds to do. So that's it. Now you get the tube into the tire. Let's pump it up with air. And just like that, your tire now has a new tube in it, and you should be ready to roll. So now I'm going to close that valve stem, and we're done. I'm just going to make sure we got good pressure in the tire. I'm pushing down with my thumbs, and it feels pretty good. And that's it. That's how you change a tire tube. Thanks, and happy training.